Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello everyone. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been a while since I filmed and uploaded anything to this channel. Welcome back. Me specifically. Wow, how have you all been? Hope you all have been doing well. Gosh, it's been so long. What have you been up to? Wouldn't you want to know? It's been a good, I want to say solid 2 months since I've filmed or uploaded anything, which may not seem like quite a long time, but for me, it kind of was. I had to take a step back, do some self-reflecting, just mental health came first. So we're in the full throes of summer now. Everything has been shinier, brighter, and dare I say, the best reading year that I have ever had in my entire life. Before we get further into the nitty gritty details of all the reading updates that I want to share with you guys, I would like to thank today's video sponsor, none other than Book of the Month. I see that they're doing a little summary rebrands. Love to see that. Super cute. If you didn't know what Book of the Month is, they're essentially a book subscription-based company where every month they send you a selected book just like this in their signature and now updated blue box. Their mission is to essentially inspire and shape and cultivate a newfound love for reading by bringing their best new, wait for it, fiction forward. Every month, their team vets and combs through an amount of books to bring you a short list of 5 to 7 new and early release titles, basically doing all of the hard extra work so that you can sit back, relax, and enjoy that selected book. They also have the best prices for any newly released hardcover fiction book out there, because for this month, the month of July, you can use the link down below with my code WAVES to get your first book for only $9.99. For this selection, the first one up, I went with House of Glass. I'm very familiar with the author as I have read, I think, 2 or 3 of their thriller books before as well. This one mainly revolves around a family after the death of a nanny and their young daughter who refuses to speak after witnessing the whole thing. Traumatic, I know. The next book that I picked up is The Lost Story, and the main reason why I picked this one up is because it was inspired by the Chronicles of Narnia, and that is pretty much all I needed to know. I know that this involves 2 friends who stumble upon a door into another world. I am extremely excited and looking forward to picking this one up. And there you have it. Don't forget to use code WAVES. The link will be down below, and thank you once again to Book of the Month for sponsoring today's video. I also could not include an update in this video without showing Pyrrha, of course. Pyrrha, say hello. What do you have to say? I totally shaved him. Like a brand new cat essentially was given to me a few months ago, and his fur has just quickly grown in since. Yeah, he's just the same old. So what have I been up to these past couple of months? Honestly, not that much, aside from the fact that I did go to South Korea with Cindy just for a short period, for a week. We went to Seoul and Busan. I did vlog about it, but I don't know if I'll end up posting it here on this channel. Might just post it as a Patreon exclusive. Not too sure how many people are even interested, but Korea was just fantastic. I loved it there. The food was amazing. The people. I got 2 new tattoos over there. I do prefer Busan over Seoul just because it has more of that coastal city vibe. And I had my first time ever, soy marinated raw crab. You guys, the bliss, the joy, the added extra 10 years of my life, it was truly orgasmic in the best way possible. I never had anything like it before. I didn't even think I was a person who would enjoy crab as much. That crab was just mind-blowing. I am still thinking of that crab to this day. Like literally, as soon as I landed in LA, my roommate picked me up and I was like, Joy, we need to go and pick up raw marinated crab right now. So we found a place in K-Town and it was good, but not great. Like that #1 place forever be on my mind in Busan. Like if you are looking for a raw marinated crab to go to, I'll have it linked somewhere on the screen or below. Check it out. Phenomenal. Amazing. After Korea, immediately I went to my first EDC festival, and that was also another just mind-blowing, phenomenal trip on its own.
Elevator, straight to the top. Wait for the drop. Going up.
It was my first time to any event like that before, and it was truly a wonderful experience. Everyone was just fantastic, so much plur in the air. But aside from those life updates, my reading updates, oh my gosh, guys, I truly think that this year has been one of the most fruitful and eventful reading years that I've ever had. Not only have the amount of books I've read increased, like quantity, but the quality. Ooh, the quality of books. I want to say this year so far, I have given the most amount of 5 stars to just the amount of books that I've read. But we are going to be doing sort of like an updated mid-year check-in with you guys. I do this every year. I've done it, oh my gosh, I don't know, since the beginning I created this channel, but this tag was originally created by Chammy and Ellie. I'll have their channels linked down below, but I'll also update and change a few questions as well. So from January to July, I have read a total amount of 45 books, which may not seem a lot for some of you, because a lot of the updates that I've seen with this tag, a lot of you guys were saying you read almost like 100 books, which is insane to me because that is my goal for the entire year, 100 books, okay? So to say that I am almost halfway through with my goal, like halfway through the year, it's just insane to me because I am so proud of the amount of books, to read to get here. But 45 books. I have essentially the basic questions written down here, but the first one is the best book I have read so far. And this one was actually really hard. It was a tough one because there were so many good books that I read this year. I'm just gonna go ahead and list a bunch. Sword of Kaigen is one of them. Mother of Learning by Nobody 103, which is my first web novel, and just overall phenomenal. The third one, also following in the same similar vein as Mother of Learning, is Cradle series by Wight, and this one, also another fantastic progression fantasy. And last but not least, last trilogy in the realm of the Otherlings, Fitz and the Fool by Robin Hobb. Oh my gosh. Already getting emotional just talking about the last trilogy because it truly just rocked my world in the best way possible, in the worst way possible as well. Just the culmination of all 16 books, in the last book especially. Devastatingly, heart-achingly beautiful. How many plot points, storylines, and characters all came together in the last trilogy, let alone the last book in the last trilogy. Robin Hobb, she's truly a masterclass, just writer, masterclass storyteller, everything, characterization. The story was so beautiful how everything just came to a close, came to an ending together. I just felt valued and appreciated as a reader. I had so many doubts and so many trust issues going into the series in general with so many other characters and story points. But oh my gosh, Miss Hobb, I truly will never doubt you again. Like, the series itself is my Bible. I live and breathe. I live and breathe Realm of the Otherlings, Robin Hobb, Fitz, The Fool. I guess this goes in line with the second question as well, which is like the best sequel you've read so far, and it truly was. Not even sequel, truly just best book trilogy, set of books that I've read so far this year in my entire life. Honestly, like, if I had to give a summary of the best books that I've ever read in my entire life up to this point, up to 29-year-old Ellias, I would say The Realm of the Otherlings. It took me a good solid 3 years to finish the series, and it was so worth it. I've also made dedicated video reviews talking about each series as well. I have already made a video talking about the quartet, the second to last, but still need to just talk about the last trilogy. It's very heavy, but it is just so worth it. So worth it. The investment, the time. So good. Anyways, moving along. So the next one is a new release you haven't read yet, but you want to. And I have 2 books for this one. So these 2 books, arcs really, were sent over to me by Penguin. First one up being Brat. I'm actually currently reading this at the moment with my Patreon for the book club. So far, everyone has been really liking it. I'm really liking it. Everything is really told in really short form, I guess, chapters and vignettes. It follows this young man named Gabriel who is mourning the death of his father and also dealing with a recent breakup and writing his second book. He moves to his parents' house where weird things start to escalate. His skin starts to fall off. Dealings with grief and ghosts and familial trauma. But so far, I'm really enjoying this one, which also leads me into the second one called Anyone's Ghost. Also another gay, sad, depressed book, but more heavy hitting. I haven't started this one yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I don't know what it is about this one. Sort of feeling like a Little Life vibes from this, albeit less traumatic, just based off the blurb and the summary of this book alone. We shall see if we have another devastating hits on our hands. All right, the next one up is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So actually, as you already know, I have not uploaded in the past couple of months, meaning I have not watched a lot of booktube or been involved in the bookish space as much in general. I have no idea what new or current release is all the hype now. I don't know. I've been out of touch with the bookish space for quite a bit, but yeah, haven't been too knowledgeable in terms of what's all the hype recently, what everyone has been reading lately, which actually leads into the next segue, the next question, which is my personal question to what is your reading year going to be like and your goals. I think I'm gonna slowly try to get back into thrillers. I know I said this so many times before, it's almost like an old saying at this point, but I'm trying to get back into thrillers. We're reading more thrillers in general. and also literary fiction, specifically like speculative fiction and translated fiction as well. If I had to guess what, I don't know, what everyone is reading currently at the given moment, I feel like that genre specifically, literary fiction, has just been all about the hype these days. I've been seeing a lot of like literary fiction-esque covers popping up here and there from the amount of time that I spent on like Book Talk or Bookstagram, trying to get back into sort of that type of genre. I guess leading to the next question is, which is my most read genre of this year so far? And that, I gotta say, has been especially dominated by fantasy. Fantasy has totally obliterated any other genre. Lit RPG or progression fantasy has taken a huge, I guess, focal point in my life so far, with Mother of Learning, which is comprised of like 4 different arcs, which is also a web novel, kind of an interesting format there. But also I've been reading a lot of like another progression fantasy, which I mentioned earlier, Cradle by Wight. This is a 16 book series, I want to say 15, 16, and each book is comprised of only 200 to 300 pages. Packs a punch. Just so good and unique in terms of like magic setting and how the main character goes from nobody weakling in book 1 to beyond godhood in like book 15, 16. It's just insane, the trajectory. And how I was able to read and complete so many books in such a short amount of time was reading all these books on my Kindle. Honestly, best investment I've ever purchased. Like, the Kindle reader truly has really upped and elevated my reading game in general, and I really appreciate it. I love that thing. I take it everywhere with me, wherever I go. You know, just one of those people who can't live and breathe without bringing their Kindle everywhere, even if I'll never end up reading in the first place. Okay, the next one is biggest disappointment of 2024. And so far, I want to say there hasn't been like a whole lot of books I've given like 1 or 2 stars to, but this one was a huge disappointment because I just recently finished this one. And this one is Jade City by Fonda. One of the main reasons why this is such a big disappointment to me, because on paper, it had everything I want. I like to read in a book. You're primarily following these 4 distinct characters of this one mafia clan. The premise sounded really interesting, and there were some really good, interesting plot points scattered here and there, like breadcrumbs. However, that is all I got, breadcrumbs, because in general, the entire book for me was just a snooze fest. If I'm reading a book just purely based off vibes, I gotta connect with the characters. And unfortunately, in this case, their convictions, their goals, I just could not care for. I did not like any of the characters. And so that sort of hindered my reading experience with Jade City. And the build-up for some of these action sequences as well were just so lackluster. And bottom line is that on this channel, this book has been the most pushed, the most recommended book to me in terms of what book I needed to read next. And it wasn't a bad book by any means. I'm giving it 2.5. 3 stars, if I'm being generous. I'm truly conflicted because I've heard so many good things about books 2 and 3. And I'm like, is this another overhyped sense where if I'm not feeling book 1, I will not like book 2? So I don't know. Please tell me, please let me know down below. Will I be wasting my time if I go into book 2 with this mindset of not liking book 1? But will book 2 change my mind? If I'm not really liking the characters, I'm not really caring for the plots, should I give Fonda, the second book, a second chance? Please let me know. Favorite new author, debut or new to you? And I'm gonna go with not a favorite new author, but a favorite author nonetheless. We already talked about her, Robin Hobb. Next one is the most beautiful book you've brought so far this year. And I actually have been really good on not buying books in general. I've been pretty good with just not buying books in general and utilizing the library a lot. One book that I did receive, I thought the cover was phenomenal, is Martyr. This book I've seen popping everywhere in certain bookstores, and I've heard pretty good selective things about it so far. I really like the design choices, the font, how there's like a huge open space in the middle of the book, and obviously the title. The title has an exclamation point, which is really rare to see in a book title in general. Last but not least, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for this one, I kind of touched upon it a little bit ago, but essentially more thriller and just more literary fiction books. Please let me know down below, like, what are some of your thriller recommendations that you've been loving, or literary reads? Any speculative fiction or translated fiction as well. Been meaning to get into Haruki Murakami this year, and also Sally Rooney, because a lot of people have been buzzing on her latest new book, which is called Intermezzo or something like that. So all in all, that is the tag. That is my update on what I have been reading and loving so far this year. Suffice to say, there hasn't been a lot of really bad books that I've read so far. The only book that I've actually given a 2-star rating to is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. Hopefully I'll be keeping up the good work, the good vibes, the good ratings for the next half of 2024. Please let me know all of the recommendations for any books you've read, loved, and liked so far this year. I will also leave my Patreon linked down below. Billing has paused for the entire month of July because I'm going through a new phase, because it will be officially 1 year next month since I've launched my Patreon, which is insane. But yeah, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to my Patreon, specifically the Final Girls tier. But yeah, the new and updated Patreon will be updated next month in August. For July, if you wanted to join, you're gonna have to wait a bit. But yeah, everything will be linked down below. But yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking by, and I'll see you all soon with a new video.